I'm very proud to be here today with you to commemorate 50 years of the anniversary of the uprising. And I think everybody ought to know that the world saw what the communist Chinese were up to, what they were 50 years ago, and they stood by and did nothing. And things got worse and worse and worse. And that's what happens when people of conscience stand back and do nothing. Things get worse. What you're doing here today, you're telling people that this is unacceptable, what is happening in Tibet. And I'm proud to be here with you. A year ago, I was at Queen's Park and spoke about the atrocities in Tibet during the lead up to the Olympics. And I've stood in the legislature at Queen's Park and demanded that the Ontario government speak up and tell China what we expect here in Ontario. We expect them to behave with justice and with freedom. A year ago, the Liberal government passed a motion in the House, and it said, as long-standing friends of China, we express concern with the current situation in Tibet and encourage the parties to engage in meaningful dialogue. That was a year ago that motion was passed. What has happened in the year since? Nothing. The Ontario government has not engaged in meaningful dialogue. Canada and Ontario must stand firm and put action to those words. Today, I will stand in the legislature once again to speak on behalf of Tibet. And this is what I will say to Queen's Park and into Ontario. Today, I proudly stood with those who strive for justice, democracy, and freedom. 50 years ago, communist China used deadly force to crush Tibetan freedoms. The Dalai Lama has stated that the Communist Chinese Party has transformed Tibet into hell on earth. The Chinese authorities regard Tibetans as criminals deserving to be put to death. This brutal crackdown on the Tibetan people denies rights that we take for granted here in Canada. Rights to self-determination, freedom of speech, assembly, movement, and expression. Human rights groups have confirmed over 700 political prisoners in Tibet. They are detained without trial and without charge. As free people, we must encourage the free world to act. I ask all of you to join with me and lend your voice to those who are oppressed a world away and say, free Tibet! Thank you.
Free Tibet! China! Free Tibet! China! Free Tibet! China!